Welcome back to Doc Shows You How. It's a follow-up video. If you saw that last one, I showed you motorcycles from Hot Wheels are in scale. This time we're building up some speeder bikes. We got that brown one and this swoop bike racing thing. If you have not subscribed, what are you doing? Do that now. Alright folks, there it is, the beginning. This, I think it's a Ducati. Having not done this before, we're going to try... Nope, not that one. Maybe they're not enough oomph. Yeah, still not. So we're going to try the other ones. And these I can really wrench on. Nope, that's not it either. So, had to resort to a Dremel, which I don't do on camera. So there it is, Dremeled. And a little bit later I'll get in there and flatten up a couple pieces. I'm going to move on to these dental picks. A bag of these can last you a nice long time for miniature and kit bashing stuff. And those snips are pretty efficient at getting you a clean cut on these. So we're just kind of working out those control forks, and then kind of standard, I think it was even a Bic pin here. I want these pieces to be the jet engine somehow, so we'll get in there and do that. Y'all don't really need me to narrate this, do ya? Like, it's pretty obvious what I'm doing here in the video, and there's a really good chance that if you're watching this video, you've watched other videos of mine, if not mine, other people that do this same kind of thing. If you have specific questions about something I'm doing here and I don't mention what I did, go ahead and comment below. I will be glad to answer you there. However, yep, there you go, rocket engine. I do want to talk about a couple of things here. A lot of times, it's not a specific recipe. 1 + 2 = 3 on this kind of stuff. It's what kind of little junk do you have on hand? What do you know looks like what? And there is some guesswork. There is some experimentation. There is that aha moment. And that's what makes these things fun to do, the actual process of the building, right? If I was just always coming out here to you and showing you a step-by-step on something that I had well developed and well refined, and it was a very straightforward recipe, I know you appreciate that, but I also know that it's important to be able to see an example of no plan and it turning out well with this kind of stuff. Which, you know, that's kind of the love of kit bashing and doing, you know, nurnies and gurnies on stuff, is sometimes you don't know exactly what the end result's going to be because you are using a wide variety of random things. And that's more or less done. It's a beautiful little bike. I've made a lot of speeder bikes over the years in a few different ways. Some of those videos will be incoming after this, I'm sure. So here we're going to take a clear thumbtack. Just heat that up. It comes right out real easy. And this is going to be your little peg for that thing to be hovering on. These things. Got a bag of these at a thrift store a couple years ago. They've been really fantastic as bases for all kinds of things I've been doing. Sadly, I think I'm about out of them. I have to find something else. And test out where it's going to balance. Yep, sand that too. I have been developing a story for the last, say, 1.5, 2 years. The whole thing kind of started with this idea, this city called Ashgate. Ashgate was the affluent city, the capital city of the planet of Ember. Ember managed to be so affluent because of this mine on one of their moons, their biggest moon. And this mine, what it did is it produced this powder, this ore, that is used in the chemical refinement of the metals for the hulls of large ships. And this helps with to diffuse heat and blah, blah, blah. However, This mine, this chemical, can't just be taken from the moon to the planet. It has to go through a middle step. This middle step is a orbital platform that is a kind of refinery that they're calling the Heaven Forge. After an initial process where they essentially bake the ore, it then is taken down to the refinery. The refinery, do something else. The refinery is in the city Cinder's End. This is, of course, the workers' city, the ghetto, the worst part, the worst elements. Ramshackle shacks, sometimes, if you're lucky, made out of some sort of interstellar shipping container. Never mind whatever contaminants they may have in them. This is the homes, the hovels of people that live in this area. Cinder's Edge is wrought with crime, drug use, theft. It's really not a place you want to be, which is in stark contrast to the shining gem of Ashgate. Opulent, sometimes considered to be too much, rivaled only by the gem of Coruscant itself. This was before the jackboot of the Empire found their throat. When the Emperor took over, the raw resource of this place was noticed by the ISB. So they came in, the Empire doing what the Empire does with resources, and they took over the mining operation. Now, at first, some of the old guard looked at this and thought it was a possible way for them to get more prestige, more profit, better recognition in the galaxy. Folks like the mayor, folks like the politicians, and the uber rich there in Ashgate. They, of course, were wrong. Over the centuries, the mining operation had been refined, safety precautions put in place, and it was a reliable mine. Not under the Empire. They pushed forward recklessly, ignoring all of these safety precautions. Then, as they were pushing dangerously to the edge of what the moon could handle, the people of Ember started to realize what was going on. Civil unrest was an understatement. They were prepping for a civil war. There were riots. And then the moon shattered. Done with any ability to produce the quantities the Empire wanted, they just left. The whole thing became more hassle than it's worth. They didn't bother to crush the people. They didn't bother to bombard the surface with munitions. They just left. Perhaps it was more of an insult. Not even worth trying to crush. And this just gets added to the ever-growing list of planets destroyed for resources by this empire. Hey, if you liked that little bit of story and would like to see me go on more about that, comment below. I would definitely be interested in creating content about my little city. So I really dig this bike. I think that it's got like jawbone things, like a warthog, and a racer type version of this guy. I think it's fantastic. So this is one method of making yourself some budget-friendly swoop bikes and hover bikes.
All right, and quick little base coat. Kind of a caramel brown, kind of more of the biker gang on Tatooine and Book of Boba Fett. That one was built off of that kind of dirt bike. And then this, I think, turned out really nice. I'm pretty happy with all the extra little details and goo-gaw there. I love the idea of it being shiny red. It kind of picks up on all this beautiful motorcycle design. And then I used some silly putty to mask off the little headlight there. I kind of liked that enough and didn't want to have to recreate that. So just a little bit more painting on these, and I'm going to call them done. If you liked this build, if you liked watching the last video I had on, suggesting the motorcycles here, and you'd like to see how I might custom up a rider, show me by commenting below and subscribing if you haven't already.
And we now return to the story of Ashgate. All these years later, the glamour is gone, everything's tarnished. Even Ashgate is no longer a pleasant place to be. The whole planet has become a slum. No place is really safe. The main city is sectioned off into quadrants, managed by different gangs. The Pikes have a casino ran by a red-skinned Rhodian. Right during the fall, some of the existing gangs started protecting their own more than committing crimes. Some of these gangs have carved out territories where they actually protect everybody within them and defend their borders. Odd thing happened recently. A Hutt has come to town. Somehow, he is trying to go straight. And he's decided he's going to be mayor of Ashgate and help the place come back to its former glory.
I am very happy with this. Turned out pretty good. So I guess this would be more of a swoop bike, racing bike, rather than just a speeder bike. And then as always, keep some figures on hand to have around to check, see how it looks scale-wise. Looks pretty good. And then, so I'm going to knock some sand on those bases.
Psst, have you subscribed yet?
And done. 2 Hot Wheels motorcycles, modified up to be speeder bikes and swoop bikes and the such. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, specifically the speeder bikes, comment below, subscribe. I got a lot of recipes for these things. And yeah, let me know if you try it. Also, have an awesome day.